Oh my God, the test is miserable. No, the health department did all of our tests for free because if you were in, and honestly, my exposure was just that I'm in that building. Like I had no direct contact with anyone that had it. Like I just was in the building. I was like, shit. Why did I have to be here that day?
Awesome. Well, we'll do a little review here. And the moves we did last time, the guard get-ups, and then we did the wrist releases low. No, front chokes we did last time.
Yeah,
Hand
I
chokes, wall
wasn't here.
chokes.
she was here for the wrist release day, the standard,
Oh, okay.
but she was not here for choke day.
Perfect. So, if you guys want to, you guys can go together if you want to.
Okay.
To go through some step wrist releases, and I think it was trap and rolls, and all of that. So yeah, you guys can review that, and then we'll jump into class number 4 today. We'll do inverted wrist releases today, so it'll be a good flow connection to that. And then a couple of new guard get-ups. We'll have some fun with that. So, all good. And then on your mark, get set, go. Yes, Miss Jamie. I can't see her. So we're doing the 10-minute review period right now.
All right.
And then after the review, we'll get going, rock and roll.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna try to keep my bald head out of the camera frame so it doesn't blind people.
So we're in frame.
Yep, you guys are fine. It'll just be angled when we start the teaching portion. You guys are matching too. So cool.
And I purposely wore long sleeves because I knew it was wrist release.
Nice.
People are like, what's wrong with your wrist? Oh, so sad. There we go. That's it. Then trap and roll. We did standard and wrist pin, right?
Yep, it would have been standard and
Wrist pin
then
and punch block.
punch block, yes.
Okay.
And leave the loop around.
Right hand.
Mhm.
Okay. So we wouldn't have done all 4 of those. We would have
It would have been punch block,
wrist pin and
wrist pin.
wide.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Make sure you remember. Okay. So the first one was. What do you do?
Cool.
Good trap, good. Great job. Bring the other leg in. Two, yes. Nice.
Nice. It's a great trap and roll, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can breathe too, just relax.
I know, I always feel so
I know, it's very like,
I don't want to be here.
she's there, get off me!
Okay.
All good.
And I did this one with Jeremiah. He didn't let go of my wrists. It hurt. I couldn't get my wrists out. So I don't know what I did. I did, but he just kept holding on tighter. It like pinned it down worse.
Ah.
Okay.
Yes.
Grab nurse.
Yep.
Cool.
I know. I had onions for lunch today, so let me tell you how fun that was. I was like, I forgot to say no onion.
Somebody's a master nurse then.
Right? I talk to new people all day long.
Cool. Onions.
This is like, it failed.
Yeah, I tried to do this. I didn't do that though. Well, that was this, right?
Yeah, like your
From
business,
last
like,
time.
yeah.
Okay,
you
so-
start this right here, like,
Okay. V.
uh-huh,
No. V.
Yep. uh-huh.
Nice.
Back here.
Check, and you can grab the
Right.
tricep like a thumb grip. Yep.
Yeah.
You pin your elbow in tight. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Nice.
This again?
Yep. Two.
Yep.
Solid.
Okay.
Piece of cake. And then she also did some of the rear tap defenses, like the pullback.
Oh,
tug
good.
and that. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't practiced this in a while.
My neighbor came up behind me and grabbed me. I did the shoulder slip and he was like, what?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
He's a
awesome.
cop, or he was. So they've done some of that.
Even better.
This is this.
No, this one is just shoulder slip.
Oh, because it's you're
'Cause I'm-
doing
I'm
this.
just
Okay,
up
so
here. I'm not
I
holding
do
that.
this first though.
There you go.
Solid.
bring your hips in a little closer when you clench. This, yeah, there you go. Like put,
So put my leg
like
close to yours?
this one behind me. Head in the center of my chest, hips close to me. That's the clench.
Okay.
And then you push yourself away from me. So we take, yep, focus on, yep, there you go.
Okay.
And then.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This way.
So this is like this?
This is this one.
Like
Uh-huh.
Okay, so,
You just commit all your weight to her, like
Yep.
back on her.
Yep.
As you hook.
And then.
Nice. Super smooth.
Yeah, perfect. I like to be a little dramatic sometimes.
okay, it's good.
Cool. Sweet. Well, let's jump into it. We'll go straight into it. For today's class number 4, we're gonna start with the inverted wrist releases. Inverted wrist releases, okay? So you can just relax, stand and sit, whatever you like to. All good. We'll start off this way. So I think that, oh, sorry.
I was thinking, which one of us is doing this here?
The biggest, I guess, like mistake you would make in wrist releases is mixing up which is which. So if somebody comes up and grabs you this way, and you know the standard release. If I grab her this way, she knows that maybe she steps forward, she brings her hand forward this way and gets away. But if I grab her wrist this way, she does that move, she's gonna be like, what in the world? It's not working. It's not working anymore. In that moment, you can panic and just try to get your arms free, or take a deep breath and then we're gonna move. So again, because we can't go up, there is another version we're gonna do, and here's what it looks like. Cool. So here's what's happening. I'm grabbing her wrist up this way. This could be from a position of she's saying something very assertive, stop right there, and I'm just grabbing her wrist, trying to pull her this way. Okay? We call this an inverted grip. This would be a standard grip here. This is an inverted grip just because my thumb's in a different place, as if I was grabbing here as opposed to here. All depending on where I'm grabbing. So right now, her hands are up, I'm grabbing like this. She slides her feet in close. She brings her hand in close to her chest. She does it by moving close, her elbow is up. She twists at the hips, just like this. And then she's going to disengage just by shuffling, so that way she doesn't cross, twist, or roll her ankles, okay? So again, I grab her wrist up just like this. She shuffles by leaning back, coming close this way. She's going to bring herself to her hand. If she tried to pull her own hand to her shoulder, it wouldn't work very well unless she had super strong arms, and then I'd be in trouble. So she goes here. Her elbow has to be above my arm, so that way when she twists, this arm here is cutting my grip off, and I'm having a very hard time holding at that angle, okay? Now there is a chance I grab here like this, and she shuffles forward, brings herself to her hand, her elbow goes up, she twists, and I'm still kind of hanging on like this. Like they have this limp grip. Now in reality, this person feels very compromised right now. Like I feel like my arm is stiff, it could be bending the wrong way, and I'm not in a good spot, but hey, at least I still have her wrist. Yeah, that's what happens. Okay? So that's probably the most fun of this whole move is like, oh yeah, done. So I grab the wrist up here just like this. The whole time she's keeping her base, the way she shuffles forward is by moving the back leg first. So I'm grabbing here, I'm pulling a little bit, she shuffles close. I'm not expecting her to really go with me as much as she is here. It's not a ton, but it's definitely like she's at least accepting some of it as she comes close. When she goes here, the second most common mistake is she does like a loop with her arm, like she does a big loop motion. It's not really a down motion, it's just a straight across. All about a twist, no lean at all, just a twist and a pivot. Look at the pivot here. So this heel comes up and her hips twist. And every time you practice this with a partner or not, you're gonna get a better sense of your balance and twisting, because you don't want to balance where you're like stepping and falling off balance here. But how fast do I need to twist to keep my balance and go? Also, how fast do I need to go to get out? You may only have to go this fast. Yeah, you might not have to go crazy fast like you think, because it doesn't require a lot of that. It's all leverage and positioning my body to twist against their grip. So if you do know a super slap after this, you could do one of those. If you haven't yet, it's all good. We'll talk about them soon. So one last one, I go here like this. She shuffles close, her hands by her shoulder, her elbows up, she twists, and then she disengages with a little shuffle motion. Here, inverted, one-on-one. We'll talk about two-on-one, so on and so forth, two-on-two. In just a little bit, I'll have some fun. On three. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Cool. Go for it. Yep. Start the base. Beautiful. Nice. And every time you do it, you can talk to her. If you want her to grab harder, if you want her to move a little bit, if you want to try the other hand, you can always do different things. So good communication also. sweet. Awesome, awesome. Totally.
So go over, yep. Because see, when you went under.
Right,
it-
you just
when
kept
it-
going.
Yep, it's
Okay.
gotta go over.
Okay.
There you go.
At any point in the movie, you're like, why do this? Why do this? Do it a different way and just see what happens.
Okay.
It's just fun that way.
Sure.
Why not?
Connect this, think about connecting your, yes, yes. And then there you go. Okay, it just makes it stronger.
Sure.
If you don't connect it, it's kind of like,
Sure.
hold that, you need, like, if you just think about making this extension, just to get a little extra leverage.
Okay.
There you go, good adjustment. Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, right there, we'll just stop right there and we'll go straight into 2-1-2 now. 2-1-2. So here's what it looks like. 2-1-2 here.
I'll be the bad guy, because I'm so mean.
So here we go.
Come with me.
I'm in the same position. If I try to both, boom! Doesn't work unless you're that kid who's changed your thing to a new collarbone. You can do that. So anyway, I gotta find a way how to get 1, 2 free. Now you might think, go towards the thumbs and just break free this way. In reality, that could work. It could work. But I want to set myself up a little bit better as far as the strike could go, a defensive position of posture and things like that. So here's what the move looks like. Don't break it down. Now, I'll do Tuesday.
Okay.
So I go here like this and grab her wrist. Immediately, she's going to put her strong side back. Or you can do it either way because you're that good. This is also good for the camera. So I go like this with pulling your arms. When I do this, she shuffles forward. Same thing where she's leaning back, moves the back foot. She wants to get rid of the back arm first. Look at this twist. Here, then the front arm goes here, twist. And this position leads her up for a follow-up strike if she needed to do so. Okay? Yeah, so I'm pulling here like this, going here. She shuffles close. When she brings this arm across, she's going to feel a little bit congested as she twists. Here, she just needs to go far enough to get this to release. Then she can focus all her efforts on that. And then if she wanted to slap or strike, at the end she could, but again, we're not relying on that to get away. So, what are the details on this that are different from the single one?
Just making sure when you connect before you go to do the break, make sure to connect that hand to that shoulder just for a little extra leverage and a little extra strength. It makes it a harder leverage than it does if you just kind of leave it loose and
Yeah.
you're not as likely to go through. It needs to be tight and out.
Yeah, there's almost like this mentality of like you want to kind of like extend, like get their arm off, and if you can do that, it's gonna stay on a lot easier. So keeping close and twisting for sure. If you happen to accidentally elbow the bad guy, that's okay, but don't hurt your partner this way. So awesome. Here one more time. So I'm leaning back. I shuffle forward. When I go here and twist, this big piece of me bringing my hand to my shoulder and not trying to do it from here is huge. And also, how do I twist and keep my balance? And I might even bump into her arm a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just trying to get that first arm free, twist back, and then strike if I wanted to or need to, and then disengage. So if I didn't have a partner, it would look like this. I'm going here, shuffle forward, hand connection. And I do that by bringing myself to my hand, elbow up, twist 1, look at the pivot. Then the other elbow comes up 2, pivot the other way. I can strike if I need to. And disengage. Keeping a good space between your feet, not stepping back or walking back because you might twist or trip over yourself. So, 2-1-2. Anything else on this one? Yep. Sweet. Awesome. Good part right there. 1, 2, 3. There you go. The pivot and the twist.
Over. No, you're fine. Over.
There you
There
go.
you go. There you go. Yeah, you can go slow the first couple times.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like definitely all let go.
Unless you want to.
Yeah, when you're a little more comfortable. Shuffle. Make sure you shuffle on the outside of this foot. Okay. Next. Pivot. Yep. There you go.
Great twist. Great twist.
Yep. And it's the same concept of when we did the one on one. You want to shuffle to the outside. Right. So that way, if you shuffle here, I can never view. Sure. Okay.
Nice. And just so you get a feel too of what's happening to her, you grab her a couple times so
Okay.
you feel that same
Like
opposite.
this. Okay.
Questions so far? Anything? Questions? Cool, you guys. Okay, so here we go. Last one as far as the inverted wrist release goes, 2-on-1 here. This is probably the least threatening out of the three because I don't have control of both arms and I'm not really striking. If I'm grabbing one arm with two hands, it's less likely that I'm trying to strike. So I go here and I'm pulling. Now, the fact that I'm pulling with two arms could be more jeopardizing to her base. I don't necessarily know if there's any difference in how hard I can pull with one hand versus two. I don't pull a lot of people this way, but either way, you're going to want to have a strong base. So I grab two hands like this. I start to pull. She gets her base, and then she goes. Nice. So the rule is if I get two hands, she gets two hands. Here's what happens. I grab just like this. Doesn't matter which way my hands are, by the way. It doesn't matter which arm I grab. Here, this way. Okay. So I pull this way. She gets strong base. She brings herself to the hand again. So it's not like she's pulling me to her. She brings herself to me. She grabs her hand to add a little extra leverage in this twist. She brings her elbow up, and then she twists here. Boom. I feel like this one releases this hand a lot easier because it kind of runs into the other hand, and both of my hands are very jeopardized in that same spot. This is also probably the most common one. If I had a bad guy who's going to get hit by an elbow, it would probably be in this one here because of this like connection to my hands and her ability to want to get close to me in the twist and pivot. So here, she shuffles in close, she grabs her hand, elbow up, and twist. Again, the most common mistake other than not going up or circling would probably be to extend your hand this way or to just try to pull it. Not necessarily pry and twist, but to just kind of grab it and yank, grab it and yank. Problem is if I grabbed here, she grabbed her hand and her hand wasn't connected to her shoulder, she just tried to pull it. It's just gonna nothing there. So
But I'm stronger than him, so.
this is true. This is true, you guys. So I grab here, she pulls herself all the way into where she came, connects her shoulder, and that's all the twist. No pull, nothing fancy special, all in the rotation.
Yeah, once my arm is connected, I don't move my arm at all. Everything is done in my hips with the pivot. It's all just here.
Notice both my thumbs are here. If somebody's grabbing you like this, just kick them and go.
Why would someone grab like that?
I don't know.
That'd be awkward.
It'd be very awkward. So anyway, I think that's it for inverted wrist releases. We'll talk about the inverted wrist release low. We'll talk about this one later, and just some other variations and things that could happen. So, which part on 3? 1, 2, 3. Ready, go. Rock and roll. Jamie, if you have questions, you can comment them too in the comments. Let me see. Oh, the chat. Hang on. I don't even have the chat open right now.
It's kind of like when you do the one hand up, just
Right.
extra.
Did you
Same
perfectly
thing.
I had the head shaved because, sorry, I'm just now seeing your comment here. There was a daily at-home challenge during the quarantine time of all the Taekwondo kids versus the Jiu-Jitsu kids. And based off these at-home challenges, the winner, loser, whatever, had to shave their heads. So anyway, my head is shaved, and it's very, very shiny. Oh, seriously. But I'm super glad you're here. And all good. If you have any questions, you can type them in here. And then good to go. Cool. And if you don't have a partner, or if you want some solo drills, let me know. And I can basically change any of these into like a solo type of drill motion if you need to. So super cool. Sweet.
There you go. I'm stronger. Yeah, it's all about the pivot, not the hold. Just pivot. Yeah, because that's the leverage and then that requires less energy.
And then I watched the video.
Super slap. I know, I love super slap. I think that's Thursday.
Oh yeah, and I knew I was gonna miss it, so I'm like, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it is Thursday.
Yeah.
I love the super slap.
I got to practice on your mind.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna angle this down. The next one is on the ground. So, sorry, just a little one. This one is the next variation, the guard get up. Guard get up. So let's say, let's go, on your back here. Starting the guard this time. As far as what she has to do to get up and get away, all kind of depends on what I'm doing. If there was just one move that magically works from any position for me, whether I was putting her wrist, choking her, grabbing her head, holding her down, smashing her, whatever, if there's one move that did all, that's great. but it would require some type of strength and energy and effort that wouldn't be maximizing the leverage from the bottom person. So we're going to talk about 2 different ones today. 2 different ones today from the top. The first one is heavy chest variation. So I'm going to be putting my chest heavy on top of her, almost like I'm just trying to crush her with my weight and make it hard for her to breathe and hold her down. So if I'm holding her down, head this way, and I'm just pushing into her this way. So it's like I'm driving my weight into her. From this position, if she didn't know what to do, it'd be very easy for her just to squirm, wiggle, push, even strike from here if she wanted to, as I'm just driving my weight into her. And all that's going to exhaust her out very, very quickly. The adrenaline goes very fast. Then lactic acid goes even quicker. So anyway, so head to side, heavy chest variation. Here's what it looks like. Then we'll talk about it, break it down. Yeah. Awesome. It's so fun as I drive towards her and push her anymore. Either she slides away or I go nowhere. Either way, it doesn't work out. So head to the side. Right now, again, I'm just driving my body weight pressure into her. That's the indicator for me that's pushed on top. She's going to wrap her legs around me as high as she can. And then she's going to extend her legs south, put her hands on my shoulders, release her legs at this point, do her shrimp move out to the side. 1 foot inserts into my hip. At this point, as I'm driving, yes, I'm going nowhere. That gives her room and time to go from the L to the I, kick low, kick high. Scoot 1, scoot 2, hands out. Good to go. Good to go. Good to get out. Good to get out. Okay. Actually, can I do it this way? Sure. Cool. So we're starting here like this from the guard. The indicator, she's turning her head whichever way, and she's pressuring her weight into me. When you bring her legs up, you may only be able to get them up here. And the person may be so big you don't even crash your ankles. That's okay. You just pinch with your legs and you're bringing and shoving and pushing them this way. Not up, but you're just shoving them south this way here. Okay? Now, it may only relieve like a little bit of pressure. But it's just enough in combination with my hands here to push my legs and then stiff arm my hands. And then one leg, doesn't matter, goes to the ground. And my hips go towards that leg. This foot may need to bend here to go into her hip pocket. I go from the L to the I. Whee! Kick low. Use that leg to whip up. Kick high. Boom. Scoot, scoot. And then you get up. Cool. I'll let you go one last time here. So the biggest thing, this will happen fairly quickly, right? It's not going to be like a 1, 2, 3, go. But as we practice it right now, every time you do it, make it a very static motion where you're going from one step to the next. Because if you try to do it in the panic of just like shoving arms, shoving the legs, you might mess it up a little bit. So still kind of practice. Watch how she goes legs first and then hands. 1, 2, and then post, out, L to the I, kick low, kick high, rock, and go. Cool. So by myself one time, looks like this. Here, in this position, cross my legs, high as I can get them, extending them south, stiff arm as straight as you can get them. Post, hips go out, this goes in the hip pocket. I push off their hip to straighten myself out, L to the I. While my foot's still on their hip, I kick low, boom. Use that leg to rock up. You may actually have to hit them with that second kick, and that's fine. And then watch how my body weight rocks forward for the second kick. Kick high, and then go straight to your scoot, scoot. And you get up. Questions? Good question. This position is like an L and like an I. So basically I get my hips out in a shrimp type of motion. Shrimp is the L. This is an I. Kick low. Kick high. It's a little song maybe.
Yeah, that's when they teach it, they do a little song, and so it just helps remember it.
Yeah, so anyway, I just think I'm out of here, kick them, smash them, whatever you like. But
I still sing it in my head. I'm like, L's and I, kick low, kick high, scoot, scoot, ninja. Like that, every single time I do this move, that still goes through my head just because that was
simplicity, especially if you have to use it. So cool. Awesome. Any others on this one? Questions? Cool. With your partner right here. 1, 2, 3. Ready to go. Heavy chest variation. Smash and hold. Good to go.
and then hands on my shoulders and use your legs to scoot, push me off you.
No, sorry about your heel. It's no fun.
I haven't shrimped in a long time.
This foot's posted
Yeah, and then at the end, the solo drills, if you want to practice those, if it doesn't hurt your foot, you guys, or you can do that. And then all good.
So that foot, yeah.
So,
And then
like that?
the opposite.
I can't do that.
So a shrimp is whichever foot is posted. Or no. No, you do it the same. I'm doing it wrong. Because I was backwards to you.
Okay.
So yeah, so whichever foot you post, you go towards.
Okay, because I'm pushing off that foot.
No.
Okay.
No, I was backwards. To
Okay.
you. To me, it was the
I
opposite
don't think I
foot.
can do that.
Yeah, no, to me, it's the opposite foot because I'm facing you.
Okay.
That was my fault. All right, start right there. Yeah. Just there you go.
Is that too much?
No.
Okay. This one down.
There you go.
Like
L.
that.
That's your L.
Okay.
So then now straighten yourself up into the I.
Like that?
Yep, bring this foot back and kick. Use it to rock up. Straight, rock up. Kick low, kick high. Scoot, scoot. Ninja get up. Kind of, sort of a ninja get up.
What
Nice.
happens
Nice.
when you get up is why you're giving me
Well.
grace. Okay.
We'll go over that. Okay, let's try that again.
You're doing great. Good. Good extension.
L to the
Good,
I.
yeah.
Kick low, rock
Nice.
up. Kick high.
That shouldn't be so.
Scoot, scoot, ninja.
Good. Yeah. And think about when you rock back, just put two hands on one side. And whatever side that is, you'll just kind of naturally dip your head down and kind of get up that way.
Okay.
So if you go your hands like this, it'll be confusing. But if both hands go to one side, it'll be easier.
Okay.
Go one more time where you go, and then let her do it, and you can feel it too.
Okay.
It's just always nice to have both people, or feel the other person.
L to the I, Kick low.
Sorry, am I not supposed to kick like
Kick
that?
high. Kick however you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but when you hold your hands up, make sure you don't hold them right in your face.
Okay.
That's why I always hold mine off to the side, or I hold them out a little bit, just so you can kick as hard as you want, just make sure your partner, if they have their hands here, that you.
Bust their nose? Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
So,
My arms just on the
let it
ground.
up.
Oh.
That's okay, I wait. I appreciate it.
Totally. Totally. Cool, cool, cool. And relax, you guys. Relax. Okay, so we're gonna go right now into the rider variation. Rider variation. So this would be in the sense of that guy's on top, and he might want to strike you. Now, if they're striking from the mount, it's completely different. If they're striking here from the guard, there's a position we'll talk about right now that's called punch block stage 1. Punch block stage 1. Essentially what she's doing is neutralizing the punches to the face while preserving her energy and also letting me burn my own energy. So here's what punch block stage 1 looks like. She's holding one arm tight, and I'll do this a little bit. She's got her head close, so this arm has a very hard time reaching her. And any little punch that does reach her from here is going to be very, very minimal on the punch scale. The other arm's having a hard time reaching her too, and I'm just like burning my energy right now. She's just holding on, just chilling, relaxing, okay? So this is the starting position. And eventually I'm going to get creative. So one of the most common things, once I realize I can't get her here, is I'm going to rock up, and if she doesn't do anything right now, when she lets go and slides up, here, I sit up and I start punching, elbowing, and life gets bad for her. So her holding on down here is great, and it's even better as I go up. So I push one hand, two hand, rock up. At this point, I'm like, why is she still with me? I'm like, get off, get off. And as I'm trying to like push her and shove her off, she accepts it, and here's what the move looks like. Boom, boom, so on. Energy efficiency leverage to the max, to the max. So, yeah, we'll just go this angle again. I'll get back here. So what's happening is she's holding close, just preserving her energy, only holding as tight as she needs to avoid the punches to the head, let me wear myself out a little bit. And as I sit up, she stays holding on. Okay, so it looks like this. I'm starting here, and just do a couple of pretend punches. 1, 2, 3, she has her head up. Then me as the bad guy, I put my hands down, 1, 2, and I just rock back. And attempt to shove her off to get room to punch. Then when she feels ready, she's gonna let go straight to the stiff. Oh, come back. A little too fast. She goes straight to the stiff arm here. So she basically slides down, goes straight to this, because I'm gonna want to go back at her, and so she has to have these arms stiff. One foot goes to the ground, doesn't matter. Hips go out, L to the I, and I'm trying to grab it. It's not working. She kicks low, rocks up, kicks high. 1, 2. Buckle the shoe now. Okay. Cool. Nice. So the timing of when you drop and how you drop is by far the most important part of this. So if let's say we're here and here my guard, we go like this and I'm holding onto her head and her arm. She's trying to punch my head. My head is closed. I'm just relaxing, holding. She sits up and I go and I just go straight to her too fast. I didn't make her work for it. And I didn't really she's still in the punch mode and she's sitting up there punching me. If I let go too fast, it's easy for her in the midst of that drop to get me for a couple. So I want to hold on a little bit longer, like 1, 2 seconds, to where she transitions from trying to hit me to get off of me. So I go here, she's punching, sits up. She's like, what's he doing? She's trying to push off. And that's when I go 1, 2, and I'm not wasting any time because I want to get out of here. Kick low, kick high, so on. So when you drop, you're holding on like this, holding. They sit up, you go up with them. And you kind of feel when they shove, like you switch to get off mode, and you slide straight down to the stiff arm. At this point, when they're trying to get back a hold of you or strike you, that's when you go foot, hip out, that goes in the hip, and then so on. Everything from there is the same as far as a guard get up goes. The best way to practice this with your partner is do a little bit different timing every time. The person who's the bad guy, hold on for 1 or 2 seconds the first time, drop, do the move. Second time, hold on for 3 or 4 seconds till your partner's really, get off me. And then you do it, and then you do it again. And then do it one time real fast, just to see what it feels like, and so on and so forth. But as soon as I let up a little bit, if you let go too soon, it's too easy to get hit in that moment. So, by myself one time, it looks like this. Holding on, holding the head very close with one arm, and you can also pull their neck to keep them from biting or headbutting or whatever. And the other arm's pinching tight this way. Holding. They sit up, 1 hand on the ground, 2 hand on the ground. You follow up just like this. When you're ready, they try to push, you let go. Double stiff arm, right away. Foot post, shrimp out, foot in, L to the I, kick low, kick high, so on, scoot, ninja. In reality, it's going to be fast. It's going to be like a fast transition from drop, scoot, hip out, kick, so on. But as you're learning it, don't go too fast because you don't want to jumble steps or skip something. So go slow and slowly build the speed, slowly build the reflexes in the right way. So anything else on this one?
No. Remember to be on your own timing, not their timing.
Yeah.
Because everything you want to do is on your time, not theirs.
For sure. Awesome. Cool. Questions? Let's see. Which part number 3? 1, 2, 3. There you go. Have some fun. Yes. I do want you to never mind. So that's good. Later.
So I'm coming out to this arm. Just because this is the way I know. This arm is going to go right here. Okay? So I'm going to control your head. This arm is just going to go right here. Okay? And then I'm going to pull my head up. You can't punch me. Okay? And then you're going to sit up, and I'm just going to hold on. Like I'm a little monkey. And then I'm like, oh, just that. Low. Okay? Yeah, it's all on your timing, not mine. Right? Wrap my head. Yep.
This one's over.
Uh-huh.
Where
And
does
this one,
hold on to anything?
Yeah, it can, or it can just go like right there. This one goes over this one.
Like
This
this?
one tight, and then you lift your head up, so I can't lift your head. Okay? And then I'm gonna say, I don't know.
And I keep holding onto your head?
Yeah, until you're ready.
Okay.
Nice.
And then
Thinking, okay.
drop, and then do the stiff arm.
Yes.
Now do your knee. Thumbs, shrimp, L, the I. Perfect.
There you go. And don't be in too much rush with the second leg. Take your time to use that to rock up because it's gonna be so much easier.
Okay.
So it's also threatening. You kicked him once and you're like, ah, and it's like I'm just getting used to this.
Okay.
Super awesome. Doing great. That's the fun part.
Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah, do it all the hard way. Yep.
Nice.
L. I. Yep. Get low. Vodka.
Yes.
I. Perfect.
Great stuff.
Good.
Wonderful.
Nice.
You know, I get scared of the drop. I'm like, I feel so
Like, wait, what do I do now? You just
Okay.
let go.
Okay.
Cool. So now reverse rolls and then Jen will go. You'll be the backup. Nice.
No, punch.
I'm done with you. I'm out.
Yes. Yes. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun with this now. So we're gonna take these two, and Miss Jen will be your partner, and whoever your partner is, when you practice these, the person on top, the bad guy per se, is gonna dictate what happens. So they're either gonna go heavy chest, or they're gonna stay close and try to punch. If they start to punch, you hold on here, and then we switch from punching to squishing. But we're not gonna do that right now. It's too much at this point. So your partner's either gonna squish and you do the heavy chest variation, or your partner's gonna punch and you do that one. Either way, when you get to the point where you're starting to kick, that's where we're gonna add a small thing. So she's the bad guy, and I go here, and she's gonna pick one. Right now she's smashing, okay? So my legs go up, I push away, I stiff arm right away, post, shrimp, here, kick, rock up. When I go here, she's gonna grab a leg. So she grabs both, wonderful. Wow, okay? So she grabs both legs, use a hand. Your whole intention at that point is to get her to let go of at least one. So if I go here, she lets go of one, then I use that leg to kick two. If I scoot, she grabs the leg again. Here, back to the hand, back to the leg. Always finish the leg. Even if you hit and let go of both, finish with a kick instead of a hand, and then scoot, then you get up. So that's just a new variation of this. So you're like, what? Your whole brain shuts down like, what are you doing?
Wait, why'd you grab my feet? You're not
Yes.
doing that.
So they might go like 2 on one leg, 2 on 2, or whatever. So you got a slap option here, or kick, scoot, kick, slap. You know, just kind of play with that flow as you guys go. So you guys are going to take turns. You give her an indicator, then you can give her one too, and just feel from the other person's perspective of what it's like to grab. What would you do? Like as they're scooting away, would you grab? Would you do this? Would you, kind of get that idea. So anyway, have some fun with this on 3. 1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
There you go. Okay, stop. Okay.
Good. Hip out, L to I. Kick low, rock up, kick high, boom. Got one, super slap. Just get that good one.
I'm
Boom.
sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Jackie's not saying I'm sorry.
Totally. And then finish with the kick too. After you slap, and show us good luck. Yep, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, all good. First time, that was nice. We should wear a giant headgear though, and just let each other smack each other.
Right?
My
I got my sons. Nope.
Not me though. I'll have to find somebody else. Yes. Like you're getting away. Nice. Okay.
Do you kick last so because you can be farther away?
Yes, but plus it's also like this is more like a distraction per se, and then this is like get off me, and then you kind of back away. So
Okay.
a lot more power in the kick. Slap can be distracting, kick and do some damage and kind of go from there. So yeah. And even if it's not like to their face, like just to like push them off, to
Sure.
get space to go back. Yep. In the moment, it's whatever you want. There's no wrong answer at that time. Just giving you resources to use. Yeah, there you go. Nice.
I'm dead.
Epic. Okay, good. I'll let you go one more to her, and then we'll switch. You guys are rocking. Just breathe, relax. We're not actually fighting. Totally. Yeah.
You don't let go, I kick you again. Keep kicking until you let go.
Cool, and relax. Smooth breathe. Okay, so here we go with the guard get-ups, different variations, the grabbing arms, the grabbing legs, and as we slowly add more and more guard get-ups, it'll go from like me holding you down, to me doing this, to grabbing your hair, to punching whatever. And it's always good to practice the repetitions because it'll be confusing when somebody's in the mountain doing similar things from a different position. he's like, oh, I should do a guard get up, but they're on top of you. And it doesn't work that way when they're in the mount. So every time you do the different positions, it's great, good repetitions, good reflexes, so that way you don't get too confused in the moment. But the biggest, best thing you can do, especially if somebody's just holding you or smashing you, even if it's hard to breathe and it's a little bit like claustrophobic, is like breathe for a second, take a second to like think about what to do and then go. Same thing if somebody's punching you, hold on, catch your breath a little bit, like think about it, okay, go, drop, and then go from there. So that could easily be one of the biggest things that could possibly save you in the midst of doing any moves, is just taking a second to breathe and think about it before you go. But obviously it's easier said than that, easier said than that. Cool. Final questions, thoughts, anything? Or get-ups, stuff like that? We'll cover the ninja get-up and the scoop thing and the shrimping drills, and we have a lot of different things to help those type of skills. Just because they're used so much, the idea of just creating space, filling space, creating space, filling space, in different ways that are more efficient, easier to move myself than it is to move somebody else. And that just gets easier and better over time. So other than that, that's about it. What we'll do at the next class when we come back in for class number 5 is we'll do more rapid review with more guard get-ups and combine more and more of them. That also gets you more and more ready for your pink belt test and things like that too. But it's just good review, going from one to the next to the next, and being able to see and do multiple indicators kind of in a row. Same thing with the wrist releases. All different kinds, 2 hands, low, high, whatever. So great stuff. I think that's it. Any final thoughts, comments? No. Sweet. We'll do class number 5 Thursday, and then super slap.
It might be my favorite.
We have the clapper pads on the other side, make lots of noise, slap things.
It is amazing.
Yes. Any like stress that you have, let the bag have it. So cool. Other than that, have a great night on 3. 1, 2, 3. Later. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in, Jamie. And if you ever do one of these or miss one of these, then you can always, we always upload them to our website too. So if you don't get to do it live, then you can always check in and see it on our website too. So cool. See you then. Hope your heel gets to feeling better.